Okie dokie. It's been a minute, guys. Oh, let me adjust this again. Alright, that's better. So we're back with another gameplay tips video here, and we're gonna talk about a mindset thing, so to speak. So I really only hop on my PS4 account now to, make these kinds of videos. I mainly play on my PC account, if you want to look it up. I'm actually higher ranked than this one now, on my way to master. So my other account is my IQ is 2, in case you're curious. Anyways, let's talk about thinking into the future. Okay, what I mean when I say thinking into the future, a lot of people don't take into account when you're playing, and this goes to mid high level players in particular. Those of you who are, let's say, platinum to diamond rank, maybe even above. Maybe you don't think about this too much, but I notice many people don't think about what their actions are and how your opponent can adapt to those things. So, for example, if you're throwing, let's say you're playing Ken and you're throwing fireballs, okay? And let's say you were getting away with the fireballs in large part for a particular round in the match or a particular game in the set. Let's say you were throwing fireball heavy, and then you neglect to realize now your opponent is thinking about fireballs, right? So what is your opponent going to do next? Your opponent will most likely begin to try to jump in and get a read on you, or they'll do some kind of special that can negate the fireball, or something of that nature, or they'll try to stuff with additional pressure, etc., etc. It's just a matter of thinking how your opponent is going to adapt to what it is that you are doing, okay? And when you understand what you're doing and how your opponent should adapt to it, if they are going to adapt to it, you'll begin to understand how you can preemptively counter that. So if I know that, let's say I was playing against a Colleen player and I was just throwing mad fireballs against that Colleen player and they weren't jumping, okay? What I'll do the next round is I'll just wait. I might throw one fireball, right? Just one. And just to get them thinking, okay, he's still throwing fireballs, But then after that, I'll just wait. I might throw some feints. Then, if there's a lot of players, unless they're pretty high level, a lot of times they will jump, okay? They will jump. I can almost guarantee you that. And so what I do at that point, I just begin to anti-air, okay? And then they start to get frustrated. And that allows me to start to enact the rest of my gameplay, my plan, right? Because the moment you hit that first anti-air, a lot of people are thinking, oh shit, he's ready. He's ready now. He's been zoning me with fireballs. And not only that, but he's stuffing my jump-ins. Okay, so there's a little moment of panic that'll go through a lot of people's minds in terms of what they feel like they can actually do. So what they're gonna have to end up doing more so for a lot of them is because they have that little moment of tension inside their minds where they're like, oh man, he's stuffing me in the neutral and in the air, right? That means a lot of times they're going to end up taking more risks. And if you're aware of the matchup knowledge and your spacing, you can understand what options they have at a given point. Okay, so it just kind of cascades from there. But the main thing, I'm not trying to get super granular with it, right? Because it's very easy to go off on down a huge rabbit hole when you start talking about the psychology of a fighting game, right? But essentially, just bare bones, try to make this as simple as possible. If you are doing something, when you're doing that, you should be keeping in mind what your opponent can do to adapt to that in order to preemptively counter those actions, right? And if you're not doing that, then you are really leaving yourself open. You know, like for example, if you're somebody who plays extremely offense heavy, right? You're always trying to play rush down. You know, like a lot of, let's say you're like a Bison player, right? Because this isn't even particular to Ken's, but let's say you're a Bison player, right? And you're playing super rush down heavy, you know, plus your heavy buttons, you know, Psycho Axe, whatever. And you're doing that into EX, you know, scissor kicks, and you're just doing all these block strings. Okay, you need to know that your opponent can just V-reversal and just stop your pressure. And, you know, every time you hit them, even if it's on block with like a, you know, a special or medium or heavy button, you are building their V meter. And so if I'm like a Ken player, and I was fighting a guy the other day, a Bison player who was extremely offensive, and he actually got me, you know, the first game. But then I realized, you know, hey, it's really simple. I just kept V-reversing him. Didn't even have to use my V trigger, right? And I ended up stuffing him. I was able to get my offense going because I would just shut him down. And I took the set, you know? So it's stuff like that you have to keep in mind. And let's say he would have preemptively figured out, you know, hey, being so offense heavy with Bison, I'm really plus. What's one of the options that Ken has in this situation, right? He can throw fireballs, create space, right? In that case, I have Devil's Reverse, right, to go across the screen. He has a projectile invisible dash, right? Like when it's in the middle of the dash. Or, you know, I can try to bait out the V reversal, right? Do like a tick throw or something like that, right? So again, I'm just illustrating different examples of how you have to think into the future with your gameplay, especially when you start getting into higher level, because people adapt. You know, when you're talking about super diamond and above, a lot of people begin to really understand how to adapt to what people are doing. And, you know, depending on how well you do it, you can adapt to somebody's style at the drop of a hat, right? So it becomes very crucial for you to understand this concept. So if you don't understand it, you're really not going to be able to level up your gameplay, right? So I mean, I'm well on my way to master rank now. So we're gonna get it. I know for a fact we're gonna get it, and eventually we're gonna get grandmaster. But this is just one of the things I really want to emphasize for a lot of you mid to higher level players to really think about. You know, a lot of you already do it somewhat, but you don't do it consistently, and that's a problem. You know, the more consistent you are with a lot of the things that you should be doing, the better you will be overall as a player. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or any feedback, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.